Hey, y'all, welcome. My name is Eddie Benningfield. I'm the executive director for the Runners Rising Project. We are lucky today to have Lexi Bolton. Lexi is a forward for UTSA. She's been out there for a couple of years. She is great. We have selected her as our official athlete for March for the female category. She's the first one of hopefully many more to come in that one. So here's just some give you all some background on Lexi. She's from Palm Beach, Garden, Florida. Graduate of Williams-Briar High School, and she's been part of the team since 2018. And this last season, had 18 goals for a total of 61 career while she's been here. So she's definitely been a production powerhouse for the team. So with that, Lexi, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
No worries, no worries. So, all right. So obviously, we were talking a little bit on the back in the beginning of this before we started hitting record. You just got off of spring break. So how was the beach in Florida?
It was pretty great. It's nice to have a little break. At this point of the semester, things are starting to kind of build up school-wise. You got midterms. Practice is, it's off season, it's a grind. So it was a nice little break to have.
Yeah, definitely. What part of Florida did you go to?
We went to Panama City Beach.
Oh, nice,
So
nice.
Florida.
Yeah, so I actually have a really good. I have some friends who used to live off of Mexico Beach out there. And when the hurricane went through and like rolled Tyndall Air Force Base, like they were stationed out there. And like I was in Germany at the time. I texted you. I was like, hey, are y'all going to be okay? I forget what the hurricane was. Oh man, 2018, I think 2017, 2018. And he's like, yeah, no, we're all up north. And I was like, oh my God, what are you guys going to do? Because they were living in a camper at the time. He was like bankrolling his paycheck and stuff. And he's like, dude, I can't wait. It's like, I'm about to get the best insurance claim ever. And it's like, what? And it's like, I guess that's Florida for you.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in South Florida, so I'm pretty used to the crazy weather there.
Yeah. So let me ask you, are hurricane parties a thing?
Yes, actually. Personally, my family, we were more of like the hunker down, just eat food, enjoy each other's company. But some people genuinely like invite their friends over, drink, and ride out the storm.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess if you do a deep dive on the internet, are we going to find you be like that? I'm sure you've seen the guy who's like the metalhead, the long hair, and he's got the American flag like sitting in like hurricane force winds outside.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you've seen the Florida man trend, kind of like you look that stuff up, it'll come up.
Fair enough. All right, so rolling through here. Cool. So you're in the middle of your semester. Obviously, you're in the off season. So you're a business major, correct?
Correct. Yeah, management.
Nice. How's that business management going?
Great. I mean, honestly, coming in as a freshman, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Then once I found that, it just has been a perfect fit. I kind of just something that comes a little more natural to me. So enjoyed it.
Nice. Good deal. What do you hope to do? Is that something you want to kind of like work with after you're done with your time at UTSA?
Yeah. So actually, coming in, I was really interested in hospitality and tourism because growing up in South Florida, you got a lot of that going on. But they didn't have that here. So that was kind of the next best thing. But
studies available on Prolific.
After I graduate, I actually plan on working for Royal Caribbean and want to go travel the world a little bit.
Oh
and then
my
get
God,
into a
that's
more
awesome.
serious. Yeah.
Nice. So, okay. So if you do that, what is your like dream location to go to? Like what, like top 3, like ports of call that you want to see if you're part of a cruise ship?
Ideally somewhere, I think top 3 I'd say would be Australia.
Okay.
Somewhere in Asia would be pretty cool. I've never been there. And then also never been to Alaska, and I've heard those cruises are breathtaking. So
yeah. So I lived in Alaska as a kid. My wife, before we got married and met each other, she did a couple cruises up there. But yeah, the pictures and stuff look amazing. Have you done any travel out of the US or?
Yeah. So my family's actually really big on traveling. It's just kind of our thing we love to do, and they've always encouraged me to go travel. I've been to a little bit of Europe, Canada, Mexico, a lot of the Caribbean islands, and I plan on going to Europe again this summer. So I love traveling.
What part of Europe?
I've been to France, England, Wales, Ireland. And then this summer we plan on going to Germany, Portugal, Denmark,
Okay.
and then London as well.
Nice. Man, okay. So are y'all going to Lisbon?
Yeah, that's what I think that would be where we fly into.
Okay, so check it out. So when you go to Lisbon, there's actually like we go check out there's like a fortress that actually sits on top of the hill. That's really cool. They've got a replica of the Golden Gate Bridge that's sitting out there. Really freaking cool. So like right underneath the bridge, there's actually I lived out in Germany for 3 years, and I did a whole lot of travel. Like all this, never made it to Wales, but a lot of time in Ireland, Italy, and then a couple spots in Africa and a little bit in the Southwest Asia while I was out there. But right around the 4th of July of 2018, I went out to Lisbon, and it was like a really good time. Really cool little city. Really just relaxed. They have got like a trolley system that's kind of like similar to San Francisco. A very kind of like European San Francisco vibe, if that makes any sense. But if you do go, it's like, man, I want to say it's right to the northwest, on the northwest shore or northeast shore of the bridge. There's like this really cool like area where they have like a couple old bookstores, a bunch of different clubs and restaurants. It's awesome. I'll try to figure it out and I'll shoot you it, but just so you have something to like go off of. It was a great time.
Yeah, honestly, I'm super excited. My brother, he's already done 2 backpacking trips in Europe. So I was like, hey, take me with you this time. Like, let's go. So he's got a little bit of experience doing that. So hopefully we can find some really cool spots. That sounds pretty cool.
Nice. Good deal. But yeah, no, that's freaking awesome. That's legit that like your parents like encourage that stuff, and like you guys got the chance to do that.
Yeah, honestly, really grateful that they kind of instilled that in me, because it's brought me to some pretty cool places and some pretty cool things. So
yeah, definitely. So was that travel, is that kind of part of how you got into soccer, or what's kind of the background on that? Did that have a part to play?
So actually my mom played soccer growing up. She was a coach, not any high level coach, but she was always in athletics. So that was I just picked it up, started playing when I was 5, started playing club soccer when I was 9, and just kind of kept going from there. My mom's side's the athletic side of the family. My dad's side, they got the brains, no athletics.
Nice. So did you get the intermix of the best of both worlds?
I like to think I got a little bit of both, which is kind of nice.
Nice. Good deal. Cool. Well, hey, listen, so I'm starting to get so this is kind of how we're going to do this. I have a bunch of questions for you, obviously, outside of this, but we're also going to have people who are part of our group that are going to ask questions. So right now, Chase Akula, he's asked something in the chat, and his question is, as a student athlete, how has that impacted your experiences with pursuing internships? Like, have you had any issues with that?
So particularly myself, I haven't felt the need or had much interest in doing internships, just because of what I want to do when I graduate. I don't really need it too much.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have seen a lot of other girls on the team either need internships to graduate or want to do them themselves. And honestly, our coaches are really good at working with our schedules and doing what they need to do to help us get internships and work our schedule around it. But yeah, personally, I haven't done any, but I know that they're definitely available and willing to work with them.
New studies available on Prolific.
Gotta love the computer.
I'm not sure why that keeps going off, but also not sure how to turn it off. So if you keep hearing that, I'm sorry.
Well, we'll keep it as a feature. It's as we all felt like, yeah, I understand. So I guess back to kind of how soccer. So obviously your mom had that part to play. How did UTSA get on your radar, being from South Florida? And that's a question from Joe Rodriguez.
So this one, I'd like to think that I actually have a kind of a different recruiting process than most. My coaches love to just, make fun of me a little bit for it, but I was found on YouTube, actually.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no, really, like found on YouTube. I played for like a lower level club. We didn't really play for one of the two big leagues that have the majority of the coaches come out and watch. So, you know, I didn't get a lot of scouts coming to watch me. We went to showcases, but we just didn't have a lot of coaches coming out to watch us because we were a lower level team. They didn't really spend much time coming to us. But one of the dads on my club team he was offered to make a highlight video for anyone on the team that wanted it because he had a really big, nice camera. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. So I get this highlight video made, and that's what I would send out with my recruiting emails of trying to get coaches to come to our games. And I actually had not sent an email to UTSA, but they were looking for left-footed recruits for my class. So they had happened to Google 2018 left-footed soccer recruits. My video came up, they watched it. Next thing you know, I got an email and we coordinated a time for them to come watch me play. They flew to Florida and I visited, and that was that.
That's awesome. So what was, I guess, when you did visit, like what was the draw? Like what made it, like, no kidding, like, hey, UTSA is it?
Well, I'd actually never been to Texas before, so my visit was the first time ever.
Awesome.
The campus, so I did like a lot of college tours just outside of soccer in Florida, and a lot of the campuses there, like Florida State, like they're a bit older campuses, and I never really liked that old look. And when I came to UTSA, a lot of it was a lot more modern. And I was like, oh, okay, this is different. This is cool. I like it. And then also the fact that like we have the city, but then we're also not like in a city. It's very similar to the town that I grew up in, which I really liked, and it was a little comforting, and it was new. And like I said, I like to travel and I like different experiences. So I kind of just said, let's do it.
Oh yeah, I respect that. We're excited a lot. So the Tallahassee and Florida State kind of thing. Yeah, no, I can totally trying to get out of the Panhandle or Florida and just, you know, move 1,000 miles down I-10 to.
I mean, probably 80% of my high school went to either Florida State, UF, or UCF, and I was like, I'm good. I've known you guys my whole life. Let's try something else.
Fair enough. Better tacos out here than down there, more than likely.
So good.
All right. So what's your favorite taco spot in town right now?
If I'm just going like generic, quick, easy, Taco Palenque, honestly, has yet to fail me.
So what's your go-to order when you go there? Are you more just like a fajita or taco, or are you like into like the breakfast taco scene? Like what's you about?
I'm a big breakfast taco person. My order there is 2 chorizo and potato paradas. Again, I say it about as basic as you possibly can, so don't fault me. And then 1 bean and cheese taco to top it off.
Yeah, so bean and cheese tacos are literally the best kept secret about San Antonio.
I never knew that was a thing. I came here, I remember like maybe 2 or 3 weeks into being here freshman year, we were getting breakfast tacos and someone ordered a bean and cheese taco. I was like, for breakfast? Like, what?
Yep.
And you're right, best kept secret. I finally tried it and I was like, all right, I like this.
Yeah. I'm sure you've experienced it too. Like you go back and you try to get like any type of like Mexican food, and it's somewhere it's like it's not the same. The gastronomy and the culture of like San Antonio Mexican food is its own, little microcosm of tacos out here. It's great.
Oh yeah. No, I love it. And then even like seeing Fiesta for the first time, I was like, this is so, like, I love the culture here, and just like, they're really like, they care here about like what they do, and I love that.
Yeah. So are you gonna go to Fiesta this year? First Fiesta since COVID?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I hope so. Got to get out there, hopefully see like a parade or something. Just experience it again, because I'm a different person than the last time I experienced Fiesta.
Definitely. Well, have fun with oyster bake Niosa if you stumble down that way. But yeah, so obviously your group is pretty close knit. I think that's safe to say. If you all went and traveled down to Florida together and came back up here, so how do you feel as a group? Like, who's probably like what is that relationship like? Is it good? Like, obviously y'all had a pretty successful season this year. What can you all attribute that to?
I mean, like any team, we've had our ups and downs, whether it's on the field, off the field, but I attribute a lot of it just to like our wantingness to make a change. I came in, we were like a 3-10 team, something like that. The year I came in was when our current coach, Derek Pittman, came in. The program was definitely not where it should be. And he definitely has helped us a lot. Like, he has poured so much of himself and his heart into this team to encourage us to like care about each other, not just care about winning, but actually care about us as humans. And I think that's something that we all noticed. And when you have someone that's pushing you to be the best person you can on the field, off the field, it motivates you. And honestly, it's, again, we've had our rough patches, but him just constantly pushing us to be the most cohesive unit we could, it's just been great. Like, you were not expected to be all best friends. 30 girls. You're not going to be the best of friends with all 30 girls, but honestly, like, I get so excited to go to practice and every single day. Like, you have your differences, but we still go out on the field and we want to fight for each other. It's not we want to fight against each other. We want to fight for each other. So
yeah, that's awesome that Coach Pittman has definitely instilled that culture with y'all and that he takes care of you. So like, I was listening to a podcast. So I listen to a lot of like leadership podcasts and stuff. Probably the one that I do more than anybody else, like anyone else that I have, is Craig Rochelle. And he was talking that apparently there's a statistic out there that most people like leave if you leave a job, it's often tied to the boss that you work for, because that boss, that leader, like, they set the tone for everything. And that's awesome that, because that is super rare to have somebody care for you on a personal level and make you have that like interaction. It's like, no, like, you care about what's going on with my family. You care if like my mom's sick or something like that. And I'm sure that, like, yeah, that's really, I'm really happy to hear that you guys are lucky enough to have a leader that is taking care of you all.
yeah, 100%.
So under that, and this is another question from Chase, like, what's probably the number one thing that you've taken like as an experience while you've been here that you're going to apply like to your life, to your career?
Probably the leadership skills I've learned, as well as just the ability to work with people from all different types of backgrounds and different personality types. Like I said, like, if I want to go work for Royal Caribbean, majority of their staff is international.
Yeah.
I think what I've learned on this team with every kind of person I could imagine, like, I think that'll translate so well into the future, because a lot of people do lack the ability to be able to adapt to different team environments, because they're not so good at being able to work with people that aren't like them. But again, in this environment, I mean, not even on our team, on other teams, you have people from all over the country, all over the world, and it's just provided me with experience that I don't think I would get many other places. Did
you have a moment this season where you had to like overcome something like that, like personally?
Good question. This season, honestly, I mean, things have gone down pretty seamlessly.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, it was a break. It was obviously a breakthrough season. We had our best season ever. But I think more than anything, it was just made me super proud, because all the hard work we've put in for 4 years, going from a 3-10 team to, I think, a 10-5 team, and having our best record ever, like, knowing that all that hard work like helped us actually get somewhere and wasn't for nothing, like, that felt really good.
That's awesome. So question for you. So do you all have like a motto or anything, or a rally cry of some type when you guys are playing? Like, how, like, cheer or chirp from the sideline?
That's a good question. I feel like we say a lot of things. Just trying to narrow it down to like the one.
Gotcha. Something that we can take and start having people yell when y'all are playing.
Oh, that's a good question. Oof. That's a tough one. I'm not 100% sure. I really can't put my finger on just one. If you have been to any of our games, though, we have the loudest bench out there. We've had refs come up to Derek and be like, "Are you okay with them being this loud?" And he's like, yeah, this is what I want them to do. Honestly, we throw out anything and everything to get our players hyped, to get in the other team's head.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Psychological warfare definitely at its finest.
No, 100%, like very much so.
Cool. So coming through this process, obviously as little kids to now where you guys are, where you are, who has been like your mentor or somebody that you've like, do you have like a professional player that you kind of aspire to be like?
To be honest, I was never really one to watch a lot of soccer growing up. The only team I've actually really followed is the U.S. women's national team, and they're definitely very inspiring.
Oh yeah.
Women's sports is highly underrated, and it's really nice to see them put themselves on the map. Watching them win as much as they do, like and also growing up, kind of going to some of those international friendlies and those games, the atmosphere is amazing, and just I've always wanted to feel that feeling, and again this year I feel like we finally got it. We had the highest attendance in the whole conference, and just getting that, watching the U.S. women's national team be as successful as they are, and then getting my own little taste of it. That's kind of what's inspired me, is to get as close to that level as I possibly could.
Yeah. So I guess growing up, what friendlies did you do? What, like, out of the games that you did attend, like which one was like the one that like will be in your mind forever as like, oh man, like sitting in the stands watching them play, like which one?
Well, actually there was a lot of games that were played at FAU a few years back.
Okay.
Just the U.S. team playing China and all these things, but I did get the chance to attend, it was the 2015 World Cup, Women's World Cup in Canada. And
nice.
Yeah, they were playing Germany, and I just remember like the absolute like rush and feeling of being, I mean, I'm not a player, I was just in the crowd, but
yeah,
that feeling, I was like, wow, like that was amazing. And it just makes you think like how you feel, like the highest highs you feel as a player. Like you never, first of all, I've never found anything that can simulate that feeling, and I never want to lose that either. And obviously, like, I know I'm not going to play soccer forever, but that feeling is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So I had soccer games in and of itself, and a couple that I have been to in my life. Yeah, the atmosphere and the electricity in the crowd is incredible. So in 2018, May of 2018, I met my brother in London, and we went and we saw Tottenham and Leicester City play. And holy crap, like that was nuts. That was beyond, that was like the way that the fans get into it. People were hugging each other in the stands. It was like a giant family. Granted, they're all cussing, and they're throwing some obscenities that we'll keep this PG. Sorry, dog's got something in his mouth. What do you got? Oh, dude. What the hell? Sorry, 9.5-month-old German Shepherd puppy, and everything's free game for him. But no, I can only imagine like in a World Cup scenario, especially with like, the soccer team being literally world beaters right now. I'm sure that was awesome. So another question from Joe, and on that atmosphere, what was that experience like in the soccer tournament for Conference USA this year?
I mean, it was our first tournament appearance since being in Conference USA. I mean, that's been our goal, or at least since I've been here, was to make the tournament. Like for some teams, that's common. Like they make the tournament every year. For us, that was huge. Like that meant so much to us. I remember, I think it was our game against Rice that solidified our spot in the tournament. And holy crap, that feeling of, wow, we've accomplished the goal we've set out to do for 4 years. Like I mean, I'm not usually super emotional, but wow, like tears just were coming. Like that was such an accomplished feeling. And then actually being there, I was even more happy because it happened to be in Boca Raton, Florida, hosted at FAU, which is 30 minutes from my house. My family doesn't get to see me play all that often, but to not only make it to the tournament, but have it be basically my own backyard was awesome.
That's
really
awesome.
great. And then we won our first game in the tournament against North Texas, who's been basically a rival, and we did it in pretty nice fashion. They scored an own goal, kicked themselves out of the tournament. It got a little messy, but we did it, and not only did we make it, but we won a game. Yeah, so it felt good, that's for sure.
Yeah. So Jared from Alabama Audible, he's also our director of technology. I think he was at one of y'all's games when you were in Houston. So he was following you guys there for a little bit, kind of on the back end of the season. So well, cool. I've got a partner in this now. So this is Danny, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So are you guys how excited are you all for the move to the American Athletic Conference?
I'd say very excited. I mean, any opportunity to like bring our program up is always a great opportunity. I will actually be gone by the time we get there, unfortunately, but I mean, just seeing how far we've already come and knowing how far we can go is super exciting for everyone. I mean, half the girls I'm playing with right now, probably more than half, will be able to play in that conference, and I see the potential in them, and I think that they can do really big things and kind of shock some people.
Out of those girls that are coming up, who do you think has the chance to like really be the superstar, or at least be that leader for the team?
That's a good question. One of our freshmen, Jordan Walker, she's a defender. She is slowly working her way up. She, I think, has the ability to be a great leader. Honestly, all the freshmen have really taken an initiative to really do what they can. And then also some of our more experienced girls, Sabrina Hillier, she's a defender as well. She's just a powerhouse and just respected by everyone, and I think could also really do big things after we make the move.
Nice. So on leadership, so obviously you've been a starter for going on 4 years now. So what is being in that starting role? What has it taught you about leadership?
I definitely think it's taught me that no matter what position you're in, you still need to be basically a servant leader. It doesn't matter if you are already at the highest, you still need to work for the lowest member of the team. If again, you're only as good as your worst player. Not that we have any worst players, but I've come to realize over the years that the motivation that you get from someone that sees 90 minutes, no minutes, 2 minutes, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. You need to be a cohesive unit. We had a player, I think 2 years ago, she graduated, maybe 3. Her name was Harper. She was always battling injury, but she was just the biggest cheerleader for the whole team. And I think and I was a starter at the time, and I took what she gave to the team more as a benefit than I think anyone else was able to provide. So I think as being a starter, a big thing is just not letting it get to your head and working just as hard as the next person.
Yeah, so it sounds like she definitely was the glue for y'all in that like kind of heartbeat then. So on that, so you're talking about servant leadership. So I've studied a lot of stuff. Is that something that you guys have talked about on the team, or is that something from your degree that you kind of honed in on?
It's definitely a term I've heard Derek use with us, and I'd never heard the term until he kind of brought it up probably, I think, 2 years ago. And then once he explained what it was, I was like, I really like the idea of that, because I'm big on earn your respect. It's not given. 100%. And again, coming as a freshman and getting playing time immediately, I was given what I wanted and playing time and everything else, but I also still felt as though I needed to work to gain the respect of the older players, my own classmates. And I just think that's something that's so important, because I have seen people in life go on without thinking that not that you owe something to the people below you, but with kind of neglecting those relationships. And I've also seen how great being a proper servant leader can be and how far it can take you.
So are you familiar with Simon Sinek by any chance?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. So I'm going to shoot you a TED Talk and a book that he's written. It's called, his big thing is start with why. But another thing that he talks on is he's got a book called Leaders Eat Last. And it's all based off the perspective of like in military leadership, like you want to make sure that your people are taken care of first. So the example that he uses is a company commander. So that would be a relatively junior to mid officer. So a captain in the Army will have all his is in charge of a group of 120, and all 120 of those people will eat, and he will make sure they have eaten, or she has eaten, before this individual will get in line. And it's about making sure that those around you and that you may have the responsibility to lead are taken care of first, and that kind of gets on that servant leadership piece. But yeah. So man, that's awesome that you guys are getting. I'm super envious of the mentorship there. But has obviously Coach Whitman's here, but in the past, how have you guys flexed around or like all the different coaching changes you guys have had? Like, I'm sure that's definitely helped you and helped your teammates kind of learn about like flexibility and resiliency. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, again, Derek came in with the coaching staff the summer that I came in, so I never got to truly experience the old coach. But since I've been here, we're now on our third strength coach. I think we've had 4 assistant coaches or 3, and they've all been great. I've loved being able to work with all of them and experiencing everything that they have to offer. But it also has taught a lot of flexibility and being able to adapt to the situation. No one coach has ever been the same, but it's also provided us perspective and given us the ability to learn on the fly, which not everyone gets the chance to experience that much change, and it helps you learn.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so got another question from Chase here. So your leadership and maturity, he says he's really impressed, as am I. No worries. But what is probably the number one thing that you want to pass to the freshmen and sophomores to take away and learn from you?
Just care about each other. Soccer doesn't last forever. Memories do last a long time though. So really, like, you don't always remember things that happen, but you remember how people made you feel. And I take that personally a lot with how I go through life. And I just, again, the things that I've remembered, yes, it's very nice winning certain games here and there, and I will definitely remember those, but the relationships I've been able to build throughout since I was 5 till now playing soccer, that is probably the main thing that I would never trade for the world, is just how people have treated me and the friendships I've made. So care for each other is kind of something I would say to take away.
It's that relationship development piece.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so silly question for you. So who are you listening to right now on Spotify? Like, what was on your replay for 2021?
Ooh, probably the most basic music you could probably think of.
Go for it.
If it was on the top 50 charts, it was probably on my like repeat.
All right,
so,
cool.
So I mean, Taylor Swift, DaBaby, every basic artist out there right now is probably
I do like that Taylor Swift is going back and like re-releasing all her stuff, like actually under what she wants to do. That's really cool. My wife and I, like, we were kind of talking about that the other night. So I'm like I'm a big fan of The National. I know that she did a collaboration with them. October of 2020, they had a song. She did collab with their vocalist. But no, yeah, definitely kind of like her story is kind of, although it's Taylor Swift, I think that's cool that she's kind of taken ownership and all that stuff, and it's now her music instead of the labels.
Yeah, and if Texas has left any mark on me when it comes to music, I could not stand country music when I got here. And then I absolutely love it now. So also a little bit of country thrown in there.
Nice, nice. See, I've never gotten big into country. I really like bluegrass, but this because my family's from West Virginia originally, so I'll listen to that every once in a while. My thing is more EDM, but
oh yeah, I get some of that. I mean, honestly, my music is all over the place.
okay.
But everything, yeah, EDM is underrated here. In Florida, it's huge. Here, it's not too appreciated.
Do you know any of the Anjuna artists?
Not sure.
Okay, so do you know Above and Beyond?
No.
All right, you need to go. All right, go check them out. They've done a couple of runs through Miami and stuff. I got to see them live in Seoul back in 2015, and it's still like probably the best concert that I've seen. And here's the thing too, like you want to talk about like family and like relationships and stuff. Like they sit on top of two labels. One's Anjuna Beats, and the other is Anjuna Deep. So Anjuna Beats is more of a progressive house and trance, and Anjuna Deep is more of your deep house. If you're familiar with like Ben Bomer or Tin Liquor or anything like that, like that's kind of the vibe that they have. But the family that is tied to Anjuna Beats, it's like the whole fan base. Like you go and you're immediately like part of the family. Like I went to I think it was the UTSA UAB game, and we were walking out, and there was a guy wearing a Anjuna Beach shirt, and I kind of looked at him, and he was kind of like just looking hard, like sitting like kind of whatever. I was like, "Hey man, nice shirt," and he looked at me, he's like, "You're a Anjuna fan?" I was like, "Yeah, dude." He gave me a big hug. It was super cool. But
awesome.
Anyway, if you ever get a chance to, as we're all emerging from the pandemic and you find yourself back at home, go check out one of those big festivals and look for any of those artists, and you'll have they'll take care of you like your family.
Awesome. Yeah. Give it a look.
Definitely. All right. Well, hey, listen, is there anything that you want to say to I guess kind of on the back end of this, anything that you want to bring up? Or
I mean, this has been an awesome opportunity. I mean, I just remember seeing the idea pop up on Twitter before it was even really a thing. I was like, oh, sure, I'll follow this account. And then I'm grateful you guys reached out, because this is a really cool opportunity, and I think you guys could really do some great things.
Yeah, we hope so too. Hopefully, like we were talking about, if we can get more, like if obviously there's the organic deals that we're kind of doing with like you and then Jonathan Tapia and Kendall. But if we can get more of the San Antonio-based businesses to buy in and help you guys out and get into deals, like man, the amount, like we can really make San Antonio like a leader in the nation for a community-driven NIL. So we'll see what happens. But Lexi, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you honestly having a great conversation with us, and or with me rather. And good luck. Hopefully we'll see you on a Royal Caribbean cruise here in the next 2 to 3 years. You gotta let us know who you go, like so we can, like, if it's Norwegian or what is it, Celebrity Cruises or whatever. But
yeah, definitely. You guys will definitely be hearing from me. So yeah,
definitely.
Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, hey, real quick. So where can we find you on socials?
Social media, Instagram, it's lexi.bolton, pretty active on there. Twitter, what is it? That's a good question. I use it. I don't post much on Twitter, but I do scroll all the time. It's at Lexi Bolton _. And then other than that, that's my two main socials. So
good deal, yeah. Good deal. All right, y'all. So again, if you're looking to follow me, I am Eddie B1256. That's EDDIEB1256 on Twitter, Instagram. And then if you're looking to follow the Runners Rising Project, the Runners Rising Project is at Runners_Rising on everything social media. the way that we are able to do this stuff is through donations from the fan base, and really it allows us to provide opportunities to these student athletes. We're here and we're trying to be that force for good in the San Antonio community to develop and empower our student athletes into the leaders of tomorrow for San Antonio, as well as really help UTSA and the city grow and be, again, that force in the NIL market and help UTSA project itself beyond the American and beyond. So with that, I'm Eddie Benningfield. I am the executive director for the Runners Rising Project. And again, Lexi, thank you so much, and take care of you.
Of course. And last thing, if you ever need help reaching out to any of the athletes, let me know. I feel like I'm pretty connected with them. So again, just always feel free to reach out.
Absolutely, we will. All right, take care.
Take
Bye.
care.